It was sort of an experiment for 3 or 4 years. Really, was it going to be approved as an ongoing part of the university? He had to then conclude what we learned by studying the behavior of the first class that was brought in '82. After that common search for self, which was really going to be the question that the course was organized around, it was then going to move into the social sciences and history and begin to ask questions about what it means to search for commonality, community. And the third course was what happens when tribes form and then they meet other tribes. And then the fourth element, and I think this came again from his background, was to study the idea of beauty or the arts.
That's another thing that I've tried to instill in my students, that you haven't lived a full life unless you stood at the center of the universe. You feel that way when you're involved in some cause that's moral.
Began to see that what we're doing here has no ivory tower limitations at all. We're not just navel gazing. We're actually engaged in changing the world in some way. But sometimes the things that they were doing in the community or on campus would anger the powers that be. They began to challenge things.
So much of education, we teach students how to doubt, to analyze things and try to prove things one way or the other. And so it's called the doubting game. Teach people to be doubters. And they come out, particularly out of honors colleges, they often come out of being these kids that think they're so smart because of the kind of questions they ask. What I try to teach you is not the doubting game, but the believing game.
Education is not amassing information. It's learning how to assess information.
Words